It looks like Donnarumma was on the pitch saying goodbyes to the fans and, of course, his teammates.
Yeah, I mean, it looks as if Luis Enrique has made up his mind, and he doesn't think that Gianluigi Donnarumma is part of the plan. And I mean, I've seen a lot of people clamor for the Donnarumma conversation, and I've said it several times. Luis Enrique wants certain things. The modern day positional player manager wants certain things, and he doesn't seem to see that in Gianluigi Donnarumma. Of course, whilst that is said, you also cannot take away the quality of Gianluigi Donnarumma and what he has done for the club. He has been very instrumental for them. I mean, the lead up to that Champions League winning, Gianluigi Donnarumma was an important figure in that team. So obviously, you have to give him a lot of credit for the work that he has done for Paris Saint-Germain. You see, Paris Saint-Germain played 2 games already in the French League, but they've won all of those games by a goal to 0. I was particularly surprised. Their first game that they played away from home, they won by a goal to 0. This one yesterday also won by a goal to 0.
Okay, so this was their second game of the French League.
The very first one didn't have a lot of their stars starting. But in this one, they had everybody starting. Ousmane Dembele, only Vitor Kvaratskhelia did not play. Badi Bakola, Desiree Doué, in the middle of the park, Warren Zaïre and the likes were all in there. But Angers have been very stubborn. I mean, that said, also Paris Saint-Germain had some good chances, and then they failed to take them. They won the game by just a goal to 0. It was Fabien Duri who came from the middle of the park to get that job done for them. Ousmane Dembele got a penalty in that game, and then he couldn't convert that penalty. But that said, I think that the season is starting. Like, we've been talking about Paris Saint-Germain. I think they have the longest season last season than anybody in Europe, because they played in the Champions League final. They went to the Club World Cup as well. They played in the French Super Cup. They played almost every game. And mind you, last season, we had an extended form of the Champions League. So they have played a lot of games, not having proper rest, not having proper preseason. They have to come back and start again. People will say that, oh, it's the French League and they have to win. I mean, yes, I can understand it's the French League but then also, you have to understand that Paris Saint-Germain and the players that are playing are human beings, and sometimes they need some rest. Yesterday, see, I was surprised by how Bayern walloped RB Leipzig.
Yeah.
You know, Leipzig themselves did not have a good season last season.
Yeah.
They placed 7th in the German Bundesliga last season. It was a competition where last season when they were playing, they had lost quite a number of players even last season, and then they didn't qualify for the Champions League. It was the very first time Leipzig have not qualified for the Champions League since the 2016-2017 season. Because for them, I mean, at the very least, they go to Champions League, they go to the Europa League, they play in Europe. But then this time, they were not able to play in Europe. And I mean, it has saved them well. Also, you remember that this summer, 2 of their most important players have been subjects of transfer conversations. Benjamin Sesko has already left Manchester United, and then Xavi Simons is being chased, left, right, center by Chelsea. In fact, before the game, Leipzig manager Volley had said that he believes that Xavi Simons has to stay. They will take their decisions based on footballing and economic decisions. So he thinks that until the transfer window completely shuts, he will count on Xavi Simons. In fact, yesterday, Xavi Simons started. And if you look at the ratings of the players on the field of play, he was the player from Leipzig with the best rating in their team. I think he had a 7+ rating. But what a game from FC Bayern. FC Bayern Munich at home.
No, but I mean, before the first goal came around the 27th, I was monitoring the game, and it looks like Leipzig were really making the game difficult for Bayern Munich. So I don't know what happened that led to the team collapsing like that. I mean, after 27 minutes, we've held Bayern Munich to a goalless draw after 27 minutes. And all of a sudden, everything just, collapsed like that. And I was shocked. Like,
I know it was always going to be a matter of time. I mean, I think that Bayern have been solid when it comes to they playing at home at the Allianz Arena. When they have to hold up their own, we have to control the game. They have loads of the possession. In fact, if you look at the stats, how well they play, Harry Kane constantly dropping into the middle of the park. What's his name? Leon Goretzka was injured at some point in time. They had to bring in Alexander Pavlovich in the middle of the park. He controlled the game for them. If you look at the attack of FC Bayern Munich, the weight being kept by Michael Olise, and then of course Luis Diaz, and then Harry Kane staying right ahead of them, with Serge Gnabry doing a lot of rotations. The Bayern team was brilliant in my opinion. And if you look at the quality that they have in the middle of the park, Kimmich, and then of course Goretzka. Like I said, Goretzka got injured, so Pavlovich had to come in. Konrad Laimer, Dayo Upamecano, Jonathan Tah, and then Stanisic making the back four for them. Okay. It was a solid game. It was a very, very good game. And
Bayern Munich, for me, winning Bundesliga games is no news.
Yeah, but you see,
you want them to show their mettle in the Champions League when they meet their continental peers.
Well, yeah, but then this is against Leipzig. Leipzig is not the regular Bundesliga team that Bayern makes it easy to plug. In fact, in the last 5 games, Bayern had not won against Leipzig.
I see.
But the only thing is that Bayern have a strong showing when they play at home and also in a season opener. So they got a job done. And, very interesting. After the game against this one, Bayern are looking for an attacker.
Okay.
Bayern's Max Abel, who is...
Bayern Munich wants an attacker?
Yeah, they want an attacker.
After signing this Liverpool player, they has...
Yeah, but don't forget that they lost Thomas Muller this summer. They've also lost Jamal Musiala to injury. They've sold Kingsley Coman out of the club. So they need replacement in that year. In fact, Leroy Zani has also left the club. So 4 senior attackers have left the club.
Okay.
So they need replacement in there.
For the forwards.
Yeah, they need replacement for the forwards. And when in one of their club top hierarchy, Max Abel said that we have been given a task. We are very well equipped in defense, midfield, and in goal. We have assist in attack. We signed one in Lucho with Leonard Carl and then Kusiasari. We have youngsters that should play a role. The plan was to leave space for youngsters. Nevertheless, when you think about 3 competitions and the energy you have to spend in 3 days, then it would be good to have another player in attack. We are looking for what we can do. We won't do anything crazy, but if there is something we can do, we will do it. Everyone wants 70 to 80 million euros, but we don't have that. So we have to be creative. We notice in the talks that players and Bayern Munich's name is appealing to them. However, clubs are reluctant to let the players go. I'm very certain that he's talking about Christopher Nkunku.
So I was going to ask that, which players are available for Bayern Munich?
He's talking about Christopher Nkunku. They've approached Chelsea for Christopher Nkunku. Chelsea told them that Christopher Nkunku will be a little bit expensive. They have told Chelsea that they don't want to do anything crazy like he says. What they want to do is that they will be willing to take in Christopher Nkunku on loan. When Nkunku comes in on loan, then maybe there's going to be an obligation. Chelsea, however, don't want to let Christopher Nkunku go on loan.
They want to sell him.
Yeah, they want to sell him outright.
Okay.
Nkunku was the last player the old regime bought. So Marina Ganuskaya, Roman Abramovich, he was the last player that they bought. And he is on a wage of £200,000 a week. The Chelsea folks think that is a little bit too much for a player of Christopher Nkunku who has not played that much for them, who got injured. So they want to take that wage off the books. And in doing that, they want to have a permanent sale for him. Not a loan deal. So that is what Max Abel was saying. But the other day, they lost the game. Chelsea in there also have Xavi Simons. What they're expecting is that they'll be able to do that. Then, Zandusi, were you surprised that Chelsea beat West Ham United?
So you're talking about Chelsea now?
Yeah, by 5-1.
Honestly, I was surprised. Because I watched West Ham versus Sunderland, and the way they were walloped in that game, I was expecting a much more better West Ham team against Chelsea. And I think they showed that they displayed that in the first 10 minutes of the game.
Yeah, in the first
exactly. And football is all about moments. I think when the second goal was not verified as a legitimate goal, that spelled doom for West Ham United for me, because at the time Chelsea had come in strongly. And so I was surprised with the scoreline, especially how West Ham United started the game.
I think also that West Ham started well, like I said.
Exactly.
Very, very well, because I think that they wanted a reaction. You had lost against Sunderland.
By 3 goals.
Anybody that won that Sunderland game, all of those goals were against the run of play.
Set piece and stuff like that.
Yeah, West Ham played, but then it was against the run of play. They lost that game. So they wanted reaction in this game at home at the London Olympic Stadium. And it was a London derby. Mind you also, Chelsea had come into the game with a lot of psychological distress.
Because of what happened to their star player?
Not just the star player. Zando, this is the very first time that Chelsea were going to play a game that they were on top. Like starting the season against Crystal Palace. I'll start from there.
They are on top, I don't get it.
So, since Enzo Maresca came, Maresca have had to sort of prove himself. So the first big task was that, can he qualify for Champions League? He did. So it was like, he wasn't the main guy. He's more like an underdog. Chelsea more like underdogs.
Okay, I get it.
Then he goes on to win the Conference League.
Club World Cup.
Then they go on the Club World Cup. So essentially, Chelsea had everybody knows, okay, you are world champions. Do it and let's see. Then they play against Crystal Palace. And then they draw. And now the question now comes in and says that, then means you're not actually that good. What happened?
Yeah.
So that was the very first time Chelsea were playing a game where they were on top. They had to answer questions, but they failed to get the 3 maximum points.
Yeah.
So Maresca also was coming into this game with a psychological hurdle.
I see.
And also 10 minutes before the game just starts, then he loses his star player in Cole Palmer in there. I think that hits them.
No, but the manager said it was only precautionary.
Yes, and I like that from him.
You know, I like that.
Yeah, I like the fact that he's taking precautions. You know,
Romeo, star player.
Yes, that shows that a team is growing.
I see.
If you are building a team, what you need is that you need players that you don't have to by force. Kopama is feeling something. You say he should play because you know that if he doesn't play, you lose the match. Yeah. It's important. He did same for Wesley Fofana. That's the reason why in some games he doesn't play with James. Because he doesn't
just try to manage them.
Yeah, these guys are their injuries have been coming. Romeo Lavia here has returned, but he doesn't want to force him back. He wants to take his time and then let him grow into the team. So he went into the game.
This is the initial lineup.
Yeah, this is the lineup that Enzo Maresca went into the game with. For me, the fact that I was wondering how Estavao Neto was going to fare in the game, given the fact that you are coming to replace a certain Cole Palmer.
Yeah.
You have just 10 minutes to come on. But then I listened to somebody like Jermaine Defoe, and Jermaine says that it's even good that he didn't know that he was going to start, because usually if you are told in the morning that you start,
you're thinking about it.
Yeah, you think about it after the game start. But this one, he just had 10 minutes.
Exactly.
So go on to the field of play
to
go and get a job done. But Bazando is true. In the first 10-15 minutes, Chelsea were not good. I think that the press was wrong. I think that how Chelsea approached the game was wrong. But I see, what's his name? Graham Potter took a leaf from what Oliver Glasner did in the opening minutes, and there was this image I sent Kevin on WhatsApp. The last one where Caicedo, there were some annotations. Chelsea versus Crystal Palace. What Oliver Glasner did was that he made sure that he pressed Chelsea's 3-man up front over there. He made sure that when Chelsea are building the ball from the back, they play with 3 centre backs. So usually, so I want the first one from Crystal Palace before we come to this one. Usually, the 3 centre backs. In that game was a Champon, it was Chaloba. So this was the game against Crystal Palace. Okay. So what Crystal Palace did was that they pressed. So you see, the defense area of Crystal Palace is a 5-man line. So it's a 5-3 and 5-2 and 3. So Hughes and Adam Watson are the 2 midfielders in the middle of the park. Then the first line that is pressing is Eze, Mateta, and then Ismail Sarr. So Eze is pressing a Champon. But then Eze is pressing James. Mateta is pressing a Champon, and then Ismail Sarr has his eye on the Trevor Chaloba. Then in the middle of the park, so Chelsea built with the 3 central defenders, and then 2 in the middle who receive the ball. You realize that Enzo Fernandez at the right hand side top has realized that the midfield is too congested. If you look at the image, you can tell the midfield very, very congested. So he's peeling away to go and receive the ball from there. Hughes is following him. Moises Caicedo is closing his camera and receive the ball. Watson is following him. So it was a very, very difficult game, and I think it was an excellent plan from Oliver Glasner. Now, that is exactly what Graham Potter did in the opening minutes of the game. That made it very difficult for Chelsea Football Club. And if you go into that game, you will see that West Ham United went also in that first few minutes in the 5-2-3 shape to make it very, very compact. We can go into the next image, Kelvin, where it was very, very compact, and then Chelsea had to find solutions. But then Enzo Maresca realized that he had to.
But Manfred, before you move ahead, I mean, how dominant and how significant was that strategy? Because for me, the goal Lucas Paqueta scored was not a chance.
Yeah, so you see,
it is not as if West Ham dominated, created a lot of chances with that strategy.
No, so you see, even for Crystal Palace, they didn't dominate. You don't have to. They are not dominating. They are just stopping you from playing.
Okay.
So
neutralizing your play.
Yes. So because Chelsea were essentially neutralized, you can't play your game. Then you have to now come and deal with. Okay, now you have an issue. Do we change? Do we not change?
For the Chelsea players, I mean, for the Paqueta goal, I think they gave him too much space.
I like how Enzo Maresca in this game quickly asked Moises Caicedo to join the back line. Instead of a back 3 in build up against Crystal Palace, Chelsea had a 4. So you realize that Caicedo is on the ball here as part of the back line in the centre backs. So now West Ham cannot press with a 3.
So this was after Chelsea conceded?
No, before Chelsea conceded. Just before Chelsea conceded. So this is the solution, because you see, it was always going to be, if West Ham, the game after the game against Crystal Palace had shown everybody how to play with Chelsea. Make it difficult for them to play. So with this back line, Chelsea overloaded West Ham United's first line in terms of the attack. But so we can go through the goals. That goal from Lucas Paqueta, for me, a lot of people are blaming only the goalkeeper, Robert Sanchez. But I think first off, one is Estavao Neto. He lost the ball in the middle of the park.
Yeah.
I think that if you listen to Enzo Maresca after the game, Maresca mentions that yes, everybody's hailing him, but he has a lot to learn. One of the first things that I ask myself, what does he have to learn, is risk reward. He needs to understand risk reward in football.
Risk.
Yeah, risk and reward. Because he wanted to flick the ball and then quickly get to Joao Pedro and Chelsea can transit.
No, which is normal with flamboyant players. They do that all the time.
Exactly.
And but if it had worked, it would have probably created a chance for Chelsea.
Exactly, but then Maresca is the manager.
Oh, no, but we should not discourage the player like that.
No, he's not. He's telling him that he has to understand risk reward. You have to flick, you have to do nice things, but then where do you do it? It's important.
Oh, but this is where they do it all the time.
No, but not in your half. He is saying that do your flicks and everything, but then maybe reduce it or minimize it when you are in your half. Because this is the Premier League, Zando. I mean, in this case,
yes.
You don't. Nobody even knows is Paqueta going to shoot, is going to pass,
exactly,
and then he ends up.
Especially when it is where he picked the ball from or where the pass was directed to.
Yeah.
He had not even scanned his environment.
Yeah.
So he didn't know the position of the West Ham United players. And we keep on saying that in the Premier League, we will not get the space. To operate like you have in Brazil.
Exactly. So once you lose the ball from there, you are in trouble. I mean, when this goal entered, I was worried for Chelsea.
But what was Caicedo and Chalobah doing?
So you see, the centre backs. No, let's go back to the first image. The centre backs. I think that the problem is Moises Caicedo. And again, Caicedo, because if you look at the game in real time, he's double thinking. If he goes, will Paqueta pass?
Exactly.
So that should he go? Should he not go? But again, Zando, in regular time in football, this is not a place where a player will score. So if you look at the XG from this goal, it's probably going to be a very low XG.
No, but once you give him the space, players shoot from this angle all the time. Yeah. And the goalkeeper, Robert Sanchez, probably was not expecting that shot from this distance. And so once Moises Caicedo and then the Chalobah guy gave him that enough space to look ahead, he will certainly try and risk. And that's why he shot from that angle.
And he did. He did. And I think that if you go to the next image, I have a problem with...
I think the Moises Caicedo guy should have, closed in.
Yeah, Moises Caicedo had to do that. But it didn't take too long. It was just 9 minutes after this goal, Chelsea had to react. And for me, the reaction was very, very interesting.
Yeah.
At 2 seasons ago, Chelsea brought in a man called Bernardo Cueva. They call him a tactical statistician. His job is to use data, numbers, to find tactical patterns. Now, he used to work for Brentford under Thomas Frank. And at the time, Thomas Frank's Brentford were one of the best teams in terms of set pieces in the English Premier League. Chelsea were not scoring from set pieces, and they were also conceding from set pieces. So they brought in Bernardo Cueva to be to do that specific job under Enzo Maresca, for him to be able to set up a team that will be able to do well in terms of the set plays, defending of it, and then attacking of it. So this is Chelsea's equalizer. Now I want you to be very careful. After the game, Mark Cucurella was asked about the equalizer that Chelsea had, and he said that in the Club World Cup, they worked purely on set plays.
Set pieces.
Yes, and if you watch Chelsea in the Club World Cup, every set play Chelsea played in the Club World Cup, Zando, they played shots. So they play a short corner kick and they rotate. In fact, they score one goal against, I think, Fluminense from a short corner kick. So if you look at this goal, Marc Cucurella goes close to Enzo Fernandez, who is the kicker. Pedro Neto, who is the kicker, as if he's going for a shot, takes away Paqueta. Once he goes close and takes away Paqueta, he comes back again with Lucas Paqueta. So in this case, Paqueta that don't know if Chelsea are going to play a short corner kick, or they are going to do like they did against Crystal Palace, attack the first pool. So now you can see that Marc Cucurella is running back with Lucas Paqueta after doing all of those things in the end. Zando, Arsenal have showed us that set pieces are very important in a game.
Oh yeah.
In fact, I remember Coach Nuri used to tell me that set pieces is the closest you can go to a game if it is not open play, if it's not a penalty.
No, but if you're not creating chance, I mean, the only strategy to rely on probably
it's very important to have set piece. So Cucurella goes to the first pool and then sets to attack it. What happens is that the ball gets to him in the first pool. He has already destabilized Paqueta, wins the flick on, and he gets the job done.
But how was he able to do that?
So
I mean, Cucurella.
That's what he did against Crystal Palace. So the ball goes straight to his head. Then he just flicks it.
He
just flicks. But then Zando, once the flicks come, look at the position of. Let's go to the image before this one. then we can go to the position of Liam Delap. We were talking about him.
Yeah.
The role of Liam Delap. Look at Liam Delap.
You probably will not see it with your eye.
Yeah. That's the job of Liam Delap. Stay in front of Hermanson. Prevent Hermanson from getting out to come and catch the ball from that crowded area.
This is good.
And make sure that at that point in time, there's also Liam Delap has pinned the goalkeeper Hermanson.
Yeah.
Immediately he pings Hermanson. The next image comes. Now look at where Joao Pedro is. Joao Pedro this time is with Aaron Wan-Bissaka. That's what has been highlighted as violence.
Yeah.
You go once the ball comes in, the ball has been flicked. Joao Pedro has won that ball because one, Liam Delap has dealt that for him. He has cleared that area for him, and the ball has been flicked in brilliantly by Marco Correa. So the equalizer was a very good job, and I think thumbs up to Bernardo Cueva for building a very solid team that have the set pieces because it's important. Teams like Arsenal are using it. And if you go to the second goal,
I think Liam Delap also played a significant role in the second goal.
Yeah. If I think that all of Chelsea's first 3 goals, Liam Delap
played a key role.
Was super. That second goal.
Let's wrap up in 3 minutes.
Yeah, that second goal again was from this area. Now, you look at Pedro Neto. I'm not too much of a fan of Pedro Neto.
Okay.
I've said it several times. I think that sometimes the ball sticks to his feet a little too much. But I like one thing about Pedro Neto. It's about the application of what the coach wants him to do. I think he's one of the best applicators of what tactics whichever manager wants him to do in a job, and that's why he plays for the Portuguese national team. That is why he plays for Chelsea. In this case, he realizes that the ball has gone to the far post.
Okay.
Wan-Bissaka in this area, I think he makes a mistake.
Bissaka?
Bissaka moves way away. Now he's leaving his man behind.
But he thought his team was attacking, so
exactly.
You wouldn't blame him. You don't fault him.
No, but you are a fullback. You are going too far. You've left your man here.
No, I mean, Kevin, go back to the previous image.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the black guy on the ball now. His team is attacking. Diouf. He's attacking.
Yeah.
And so he's also a fullback.
Yeah.
He searches for it all the time and then drops deep as well. And so once it is the player had the ball, and it looks like there was no Chelsea player in that scene pressing the West Ham United player. He will move forward. So I don't blame Wan-Bissaka on this occasion.
Okay, but you see, if you move on to the next image, Wan-Bissaka moves too far.
Okay.
So the ball goes to Lucas Paqueta. No, don't go too fast, please. Go back. The ball goes to Lucas Paqueta. It is an excellent job. We've spoken about Chelsea's press and counter press, where they win the ball from, the turnover, putting the ball forward. This was excellent from Trevor Chalobah. Where Trevor Chalobah was able to. Trevor Chalobah actually win this ball. But Zando,
was that not a foul?
No, it wasn't a foul. If you look at the game in real time, Paqueta loses the ball.
Yeah, I think the first touch was too heavy.
Then Trevor gives him his leg. I mean, anybody that plays football knows that's a smart thing to do.
I think the first touch was wrong. It was too heavy.
Yeah, but Zando, look, can you see Wan-Bissaka?
No, he's out of the scene.
When there is danger.
Especially when they say the Chelsea players had crossed in.
Now there is danger.
Yeah.
So
he was supposed to drop deep.
Yeah, so I think that, yes, he has to go forward, but then can you be a little bit careful in that area?
Awareness.
Exactly. So he goes in from there. Chelsea sets it up. Now Wan-Bissaka is now coming back. He's late. In fact, you go to the next image again. He goes in there. The cross comes in. Pedro Neto gets ahead of him. Wan-Bissaka is late. At that point in time, Chelsea are leading the game by 2-1.
Okay.
I've seen that my man Javier Clemente is, but at this point in time, Chelsea are leading the game by 2-1, and obviously the job is already done. It is the third goal.
Why are you not talking about the significance of the West Ham equalizer in Chelsea's win? Because
the one that was strong.
Exactly. If that goal had gone in, probably it would have been a difficult game for Chelsea.
Yes, but then already the fact that Chelsea were able to come back from the first one, I was okay. Fine. You are able to come back from the first one, and to be very honest, if you look at that offside goal, I'm very sorry that I didn't bring you that annotation.
It was offside,
clear. But that offside goal, you could clearly tell, and Chelsea have been doing this for a very long time.
They set you up.
Yeah, they use the 18-yard box, the line, as the last line where everybody stops.
I see.
So you realize that Marco Correa was trying to track his runner. So he was the one that nearly played Todibo on. But then again, it was good. It was good over there. And Kemu. Let's just run. I've seen that my man has. Let's run through the third goal. Then we just wrap up from there. This one again, Liam Delap. Look at the left hand side.
Yes.
Liam Delap. He was excellent. And again, people are talking about him. The hold that play at that point in time, very, very important. How he flexed the ball to find Estavao Willian. Estavao's ability to carry the ball in that space. for me, it was brilliant. It was a super job from Liam Delap in that area. And again, Estavao Williams ball carrying. Liam Delap, I was sad that he was taken off by Enzo Maresca very early in the game. I think that Liam Delap should have been given the game. He should have been allowed to stay on to get a goal.
He will play more games. Yeah. I mean, there are a lot of games to play.
But Chelsea had 5 goals.
So it was very like...
And Liam Delap, who I think worked harder than everybody, didn't get a goal in there.
But I disagree with the technical team. I think that João Pedro for me was the man of the match.
Me too. I don't think it was Estavao. I mean, he showed nice things, but then I don't think it was purely Estavao.
The only significant moment he had was this Enzo Fernandez goal. Even that one, Liam Delap played a key role.
Oh yeah.
So that's the third goal. And I think generally the best player on the field for me was João Pedro.
João Pedro.
João Pedro, he doesn't make football complex. That's what I love about him. Simple player.
Yeah.
I mean, just attack, try and take on few players, make sure you're in the right position, and that makes him a very good striker. Yeah. Composure, he keeps his composure in the 18-yard box, and then make sure that he has his eyes on goal. And I think that he's a fantastic player.
Pedro.
I'm just hoping that he will stay fit throughout the campaign, and Chelsea fans will see the best of him.
Chelsea have hit jackpot with that 55 million from
I think because of his injury last season, right? A lot of clubs didn't want to go in for that risk because of his injury record. But I think so far.
And he also has this disciplinary record where he fights a lot with his team. You know,
he loses calm.
Last season he had 2 red cards. Last season, in fact, he was subject for a long-term ban. Where there was one game where Brighton were playing, a player was coming from behind. A player who had tackled him went in like this with that elbow. He was nearly in for a long-term ban. So Enzo Maresca said that before he bought João Pedro, he spoke to Roberto Di Zerbi. You know, Roberto is Italian like Enzo.
Yeah.
And he asked him that he has heard about his issues of discipline. Is he okay to go with him? And he said Roberto Di Zerbi told him that you can manage him. You just have to manage him. And since he came, like I saying, he looks calm.
Yeah.
In his interviews, he looks a little bit
very calm.
Laid back.
João Pedro is a good player.
Yeah.
He's a fantastic... You know me, I don't hype players. Yeah. Oh, no, but you know this is about me. I don't hype players. That's why...
So should Jackson go?
Jackson?
Yeah. Because I think Jackson should stay with Zando. I think that Chelsea should keep Jackson.
But you see, I listened to Enzo Maresca before the game.
Yeah.
He was clear in his mind that he has 2 players, 2 attackers who probably are better in terms of the pecking order than Jackson.
Yeah.
So he doesn't see why journalists should ask him off in the class, Jackson not being in the match day squad.
Yeah.
And it looks like if these 2 players are not injured, there will be no place for Jackson in this team.
Yeah. I mean, and 2 attackers is enough, especially if they are buying. I think that Chelsea actually went onto the market to buy João Pedro as a left winger. But then when he came to the Club World Cup and he was doing that job at centre when he was scoring, they felt like, hold on a minute, this guy can do what Jackson does and even gives us go in there. So then let Jackson go and then buy in a number 10. And that's what they're looking for Xavi Simons to come and add to the quality that they want.
So far, so good for Chelsea. 4/6. It's not bad.
Yeah, I think that is good. I think that I was expecting that Chelsea's first 2 games to get 6 points.
Okay.
But in the Premier League, it's not easy. So we're going to see exactly how things are going to go on from there. I really want to know what Javier's thoughts are on the game. Javier can come, then let me take off his production for him then.
Yeah.
We'll see how those are.
Javier wants to bring some data to back his argument today.
His data conversation is the best. You don't miss Javier's data conversation. So
1 + 1 will always be 2. There's nothing like my opinion is 1 + 1 is 4.
There's no opinion in data.
Yes.
Opinion. But the last man that used data, and it's you.
Who?
Senior.
Javier Clemente, let me say good morning to Javier Clemente. He will join us in the studio in a moment. But Manfred, let's go through the Tottenham Hotspur Man City game quickly.
It's an early kickoff today.
Yeah, 11:30 a.m. Eberechi Eze to Arsenal, and Arsenal will be playing Leeds United. It looks like Thomas Frank is hurt. He says he doesn't want to work with any player who doesn't want to join the team. Quick thought on that one.
But the player doesn't want to work with you, so what will you do? You can't work with him. What does Thomas Frank say? Also, senior.
Maybe they can make last-minute moves to convince the player to change his mind.
You can't convince him. The young man said that
he grew up as Arsenal fan.
Yes. In fact, he was released by Arsenal at age 30.
Yeah.
And he when Arsenal came, he was never going to turn it down. I think that Tottenham Hotspur losing out on this deal was a fault of Crystal Palace.
Crystal Palace?
Yes.
It is Tottenham Hotspur.
No, Crystal Palace.
But they had agreements in place.
Yes.
With the player and the club.
Yes. But then Crystal Palace. No. Crystal Palace had agreed with them. Tottenham were done. They were okay. The boy was coming. Then Crystal Palace failed to sign the document because they wanted him to play in the Conference League game on Thursday.
And Kai Havertz got injured on Tuesday.
Yes, and Kai Havertz got injured on Tuesday. So that Conference League game buys Arsenal enough time to come into the conversation and then pull a better chairs out of the deal.
Manfred, my only problem is that I think this thing is synonymous with Tottenham Hotspur. The last time was Willian.
Yeah.
I think Tottenham Hotspur bought Willian to England.
Yeah.
And everybody thought this guy was going to Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah, Chelsea ain't
they compete in the transfer market as if they are the only club competing in that space.
Yeah.
Not forgetting that, I mean, you are competing with the likes of Chelsea, Liverpool, Manchester City, and Man United.
Yeah.
So when you have any player under your sleeve, you have to make sure you get the player on time. You shouldn't waste time.
I think this is a show that Tottenham Hotspur are not on the level of Arsenal and Chelsea
but that one is a fact.
And the real big boys. So, I mean, once the boy says I want Arsenal, it's because he knows yes, he loves Arsenal. Arsenal is a big team too. And it's going to be. I would have loved to see Eberechi and Mohamed Kudus in that Tottenham Hotspur team.
Possibly Savinho.
Yeah, it would have been brilliant.
Devastating.
It would have been such a it would have been such a very, very good team. And I think that Thomas Frank is one of the best managers. He is top 7 best managers in the English Premier League. The only thing is that he had not been at a team that were willing to spend.
He's not a proven winner. Yeah, in terms of trophies.
I'm hearing that they are willing to spend 17 million on Savinho. It tells you the ambition that Tottenham must have for Thomas Frank.
After losing the Eberechi, you are willing to spend 70 million on Savinho.
But for Eberechi,
they are not serious.
They pay 68 million release clause.
Exactly. So the release clause was triggered.
Yeah.
I think it expired on Friday. They triggered it. Crystal Palace accepted the offer.
Yeah.
Why do you allow the player to use the player for the Conference League?
No. The club,
they are not serious. The man in charge of the transfer at Tottenham Hotspur should be sacked. We wanted to sign Eberechi as possibly add Savinho to win the league.
Daniel Levy should go.
Yes. The man in charge of the transfers.
But if Daniel Levy goes there,
no, I'm not talking about Daniel Levy. I mean, they have this guys solely in charge of their transfer activities. You've agreed with Crystal Palace to sign Eberechi Eze. And then what are you waiting for? You are waiting for the player to join who? They are not serious. Let me say good morning to Professor Javier Clemente.